Welcome to Romance Rex, where book besties explore the world of romance novels and encourage you to expand your TBR. Join us as we dive into the hottest releases and hidden gems of the genre. You can find us on Instagram and TikTok at Romance Rex Pod. You can also find us on Discord, so what are you waiting for? Just search for our server, Romance Rex. If you can't tell by now, I'm Dev. Welcome.
Hi. And what are you reading?
I was just trying to think because honestly, the chaos that is my reading routine right now, you know what? I'm going to talk about this book today for the episode, but I am listening to Salt Kiss by Sierra Simone. And baby, when I tell you, I'm going to save it. But Sierra, wow, the woman that you are. Yeah.
Hi, I'm Jordan. I am currently reading I'll Be Home by Tate James and Heather Long. And that's on pause while I read, and I'm about done with Power Play by Chelsea Curdo. I'm also started today listening to Before I Let Go by Kennedy Ryan. And I might be done, not because it's not an amazing book, but because it's triggering some things for me, and I just don't know if I can do it. We found my hard limit.
Fair.
And it has nothing to do with dark romance. It has to do with marriage and real life issues.
Not real life being scary.
I mean, yeah, it's traumatizing.
Yeah.
So buckle up for some bookish banter.
Woo!
Get some Valley in there. Yes.
I know. Oh, man. Yeah. But yeah, how are we feeling today, Jordan?
It's been a long few days for me. So tonight, I'm ready to just forget about real life for a little bit, and I'm ready to dive into some fictional worlds. And I'm really ready to just swoon over some male main characters that are down bad.
Absolutely.
That no one in real life can touch. Even my amazing husband, who is down bad. But let's face it, he does not have the resources that these fictional men do.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Yeah, because when these men get on their knees or whatever it is that they're groveling or just existing in the relationship,
destroying worlds,
destroying world, like whatever. It is just so good. So yeah, I actually have a quote, and the quote that I chose today. So at first I was only going to choose the very end of it, because it's a really long quote, but I think I want to read the full quote because I think it really summarizes the down bad energy. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So buckle up. This is from one of my favorite reads of the year, or listens, I should say, because listening to it was just really chef's kiss. It's Lights Out by Nevessa Allen. I spoke about this in a previous, but yeah, this is the quote. My entire life was devoted to caring for others. I wanted someone to take care of me for once. I wanted someone to want me. No, need me. I wanted a man so obsessed that he hacked into cameras to watch me when he couldn't sleep. I wanted him to monitor my location data, order me a home security system so no one else could break into my house, and threaten to murder anyone who hurt me. I didn't want him morally gray. I wanted someone with a soul as black as night, someone who would burn the world down for me and not lose a single minute of sleep over it. If that does not surmise like the down bad MMCs that we're going to talk about today, I feel like all of them, every single one of them are probably this. They're going to do that.
So fucked up. That is so
It is so bad. Do you hear the thing she listed? Hack into location?
I want him to. You want him to kill someone for you?
You want that?
Oh, do you know who she would love outside of her own world? She would love Sam Kyle. Let me read you yes, because my quote leads right into that. Are you ready? Mm-hmm. Okay, this is Sam Kyle from The Dawn of the Cursed Queen, which is book 3 in the Gods and Monsters series by Amber V. Nicole. This will not spoil anything. Okay, we know this is a fantasy romance, so you know their relationship changes from hating each other at the beginning. Okay, get over it. It's not an actual spoiler. She did not fully understand the lengths I would go to for her. Destroying a world was not even a fraction of it. She thought me a hero, but a hero would defy others for the greater good. She was mine. And for her, I'd do the unthinkable. My strong, fierce, beautiful girl who thought she could take the world on all by herself. Only she had me now, and gods above and below help anyone who thought they could hurt or take her away from me. I'd destroy several worlds if it meant keeping you safe. You have no idea the limits I'd go to for you. And I think that's very foreshadowing into what's going to happen in book 4. I had a little back and forth with Amber, and we're scared.
Casual.
We're scared. Okay, I think this was foreshadowing. Just going to say that.
What?
And this is not a spoiler because I don't know, because book 4 is not out. I think this is foreshadowing. Amber, come on. Come on down. Let's chat. Let's figure this out. Because this is down bad if you had the power of all the gods.
Right. If you were the god, the HGIC, head god in charge. If you were that man, this is actually terrifying behavior.
Yeah, and if you've read the first or even second one and you haven't read the third, to hear this, you're like, what? You need to read because you need to see what happens. It's unhinged.
Yeah, Allie would for sure love her Sam Kyle.
Yeah.
If she likes them down bad.
Yeah, and I was thinking maybe some of our listeners don't know what that means. And I was like, I think it'd be funny to look up the definition of the slang term down bad because let's face it. Oh my gosh,
please.
I just had to. So for those of you who are like, what are they talking about? Let me educate you, okay? Down bad is a slang term that means to be in a bad state or condition, especially when feeling strong and usually unrequited feelings of attraction, desire, or infatuation. It can also mean being desperate for love or attention, often used when someone is craving affection or validation. The term is often used humorously. Not humorously in this case. They are down bad, obsessed. And MMC is short for male main character if you have not caught up on that yet.
Yes, exactly. So we've got a bunch of down bad MMCs and honestly great book recs for you. Some of them you may have heard about before from my side. I know that some of these I may have mentioned, or at least the authors I've talked about before. But some of these men are just... I know Jordan's laughing because she's like the queen of talking about the same authors every episode.
I also have new ones, okay?
Yeah, we love that for you. I would love to start this meeting. I'm going to talk about Sierra Simone. And the first series I'm going to mention is her Priest series. So Sierra Simone has the series Priest, which by now a lot of you have probably heard the audio of, where the first book is My Name is Taylor Anson Bell, and whatever, he would do it again. He's down bad.
I haven't heard
that audio. Really, okay, it's a really popular clip from the audiobook of how down bad he is. I will also like to preface this by saying I am pretty sure Zachary Weber / Jacob Morgan.
Talk about obsessed.
Is the narrator. I am actually obsessed with him.
Dev is down bad
for all 3 books. I am down bad for that man's voice. Okay, I don't know him personally. I don't know that man personally. I probably walk by him on the street. You know what I'm saying? But when I hear his voice pop into my headphones, I'm set. Down bad for him. So he is the narrator, I'm pretty sure, of all 3 brothers, which is psychotic and so delicious. But the Priest series basically follows a group of brothers or a trio. Well, it's 4 of them, but I'm not sure if she'll ever do a book for the 4th brother. I'm not really sure, but the 3 oldest brothers get a book. They face some really heavy trauma within their teenage or younger years when their sister unalives herself due to being abused by someone in the church. Family was a very heavy church family, and that happens and pretty much destroys his family or their family. You know, they all band together, like the family bands together, but they kind of separate themselves from their friends, obviously from the church, from everything. So each brother's story kind of mentions that and how it was a turning point. The first book, Tyler is a priest. He's a full-blown priest, my loves. He's doing priestly things. He's wearing the garb. He's abstaining. He's teaching the sermons. Whatever you imagine a priest to be, that's him. He's here to serve his community and his people, and most importantly, his God. In walks motherfucking Poppy, and Poppy gets this man so down bad that by the end of it, is this a spoiler? This might be a spoiler. If you know a priest, and then you know romance writing and a happy ever after, you probably know that they get, you probably know they're going to get together. So I don't know if it's too much of a spoiler. Anyway, he quits being a priest expeditiously to be with her. But the way he goes about it, when I tell you he cannot keep his hands off this woman, I'm talking in the church, on holy ground, using holy waters and oils. Baby, down bad. Book 2 is called Sinner, and this might be, it was my favorite book, because the first book I don't love as much. I love it, but I don't love it as much. Second book is Sinner. When I tell you, Sean has me in a chokehold, this man, his main character is actually his best friend's younger sister. Baby girl is about to take her vows to become a nun.
Oh, that's right.
Okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
She's closing herself off to the world. She's serving her God.
She's closing her legs to the world, yes.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. She decides, you know what? F it. I have a couple months. I'm going to live life.
And God will forgive me anyways because he forgives
Exactly. So let me live my life. I'm going to experience the world before I take this vow. She decides, who better to teach me to live my life than Sean Bell? Baby, this man drinks, smokes, goes to strip clubs just for fun. He dresses like $1 million trillion when he walks out. He's like cutthroat, financial, and gets the job done money. Whatever you picture a finance bro is. Yes, finance bro, fuck boy. That is finance. That is exactly what I picture Sean as, and he's fine. So anyway, they get together. I can show you the world. You know, it's very much bringing her out. And show her everything. Sean is so down bad. She is volunteering at I was about to say the nunnery. Volunteer is somewhere where the nuns exist. Girl, when I tell you I read about religion, I am not a part of it. Anyway, the nuns are gathered and she's volunteering there. She's working, if you will.
There's a gaggle of nuns, if you will.
Good Lord. Yeah. Everybody's serving the good Lord, being nuns and stuff. She's on the freaking countertop getting her bean fiddled by Sean. Yeah. He's defiling her in a place that should be sacred. Okay? He is so down bad. He could not wait to defile her in the privacy of their own home or his own home. Like, he has her, this man who's like smoking, drinking, off to the strip club is slowly, I'm a one-woman man. I need her. I have to see her. Okay?
That's
down bad Sean. Yes, exactly. The final brother in this series is Aiden. His book is called Saint. Now, if you don't know me, caveat, if you do know me, stop listening right now. Right. Scram!
Shoe fly. Sorry.
Yeah, so if you know
now
me,
let's talk more about desecrating the church.
Right. Speaking of desecrating the church, Aiden, the third brother, I swear to God, sometimes the Jamaican just pops the fuck out. The third brother is in the Saint book, the one with the beautiful cover. He has decided to become a monk. He was also a little finance bro. They all have to have a connection with religion and and I'll get into the way Sierra writes. I just want to get his down badness out. So he decides to become a monk. Aiden is like spending money. He's like living his life. He stepped out of the city, gets a farmhouse like away from his family, and he's, one with nature, has his farmhouse. But he now chooses to set sights on his brother, Sean, whose now wife, Zenny, okay? Her older brother. So do you see what we have here? His brother-in-law,
that was a big, you paused really long after brother, and I was like, where is this going? Yeah, it was a really long pause, and I was like, please give me more. Sorry. Please tell me there's more.
No, there is more. So it's technically his brother-in-law. It's his brother's, Sean's best friend.
No, that's not, but no. I mean, if two sets of twins can marry twins, I feel like then that's...
Right. I don't think this was a taboo relationship. It's maybe taboo in the sense that, they're like, it's messy and they grew up together, but I don't think it's taboo. And if y'all know, okay, what I was going to say earlier is, I am feral for a relationship. I love MMF. I'm sorry. That's like top tier for me when there's 3 of them in there. Mm-hmm. But the care and the tenderness and just, oh my goodness. It is so good. It is so good. So Aiden decides he wants to be a monk. He's out there in the wilderness. He's monking it around. I don't know. Monks are so funny also. Like, I had a different idea of monks in my life, but they was cracking jokes and making beer. Did you know that's how monks sometimes make money?
Yeah.
Unless this is in Sierra.
It's a big thing.
Yeah, they make, it's huge. like their beers are sought after in the world. Anyway, so Sierra did teach me something. Thank you. Anyone who said literature isn't informational, you're wrong. Anyway, he decides to be a monk. I'm learning so much. Aiden is like being his monk life. He's, felt like he had to give up all his money and give up all of his belongings because he went through something traumatic, an event that could have went one way and he was saved. And he took that saving as a sign that he needed to devote his life to God to pay penance for the life he had previously lived. In comes his love interest, it's crazy that I cannot remember his name right now. That's pissing me off. Anyway, the love interest has also had a change of life. They were together. They thought they would be each other's everything. 5 years have passed because Aiden literally, the same day he had this aha, come to Jesus, literally, moment, he left everything, donated all his money, left his farmhouse, like all this kind of stuff, and decided to live in a monastery. Number one, down bad. Aiden ends up not becoming a monk anymore. Obviously, he leaves the faith to go be with his husband. Right. He goes to be with his husband. So we already know we're looking for a happy ending. There's a happy ending in all of these. But like the thing that I would say about the way Sierra Simone writes her male main characters is that everything they say just feels like they're down bad. Like the way I describe Sierra's writing, it's like the characters are itching to get out of their skin to be with this person, to crawl into this other person. And it's reflected in the way that they talk about themselves and also about how this other person makes them feel. Like with all three brothers, there's no like major, buying land or no monetary things, but the severing of their religious relationships and not really completely cutting it off, and their way of life, their entire way of life, what they have decided to dedicate themselves to. And just to be able to have a relationship with this other person is epitome of down bad. Epitome. Because they changed their entire life to basically live in this person's skin.
That's so much pressure as that female main character, or that female main character, or other spouse. I'm thinking about this in real life terms, which I shouldn't. This is what Kennedy Ryan does to me now, making me feel feels. But
right, because it is contemporary, so you can like honestly see it happening.
And also coming from a religious background myself, I'm like, that is so much pressure.
It's terrifying. But Sierra just has a way of writing it. I mean, it is so hot. It is because, that obsession, I think everyone wants the person they're with to be at least a little bit obsessed with them. To feel like you are all I see, your needs, I want you happy, I want you smile. We all crave just a tiny bit of obsession. And the Bell brothers, when they see obsession, they're like, I could do you one better, baby. Hold my beer. They're like, it's like they just have to one up. And that's really
hold my rosary. Here we go.
Yeah. Hold my rosary is correct. Except for Sean, because Sean wasn't really, but he sure did he turned that nun loose. He turned her loose.
Oh my God. And look at that. And we just got Dev's first rec done.
To be fair, you have 3 books. Enjoy, my loves.
Well, now I'm like, what do I start with? That was 3 for 1 special.
I know. I felt like I just had to talk about all 3 of them. Like I couldn't just pick one.
That's fair. I will keep it contemporary. How about that? Because I only have 1 contemporary. I'm going to start. My first rec tonight is Face Off by Chelsea Curto. If you haven't listened to our interview with Chelsea, please go listen to that after this one because it was so good. Chelsea is so amazing, and her writing reflects that too. Face Off is the first book in a relatively newer series for her, the DC Stars series. Second one is Power Play. I'm almost done with it. But Maverick Miller is like the definition of contemporary down bad, like contemporary in the way that it would actually happen in real life. Does that make sense?
It feels believable.
That things could actually happen. I mean, besides the fact that he is this all-star NHL player, because it is a hockey romance. Maverick Miller hits on any woman who breathes. When he hits on a new face with great legs in the arena where he plays, he thinks it's a fan. Hey, you need an autograph? Do you need my number? In reality, it's his new teammate who he is there to meet. Her name is Emerson Hartwell, Emmy for short. It's a dislike to friends with benefits to obsessive love. Obviously, that first encounter between them does not set a good tone. Like, it does not paint him a good light. He is the captain of the team, did not do his homework to see who Emerson is. Emerson is the first woman to play in the NHL. It's a really big deal for her. So she's there, first day of work, representing an entire gender, right?
Right.
It's a monumental moment. And here her captain is hitting on her. She's no one. And he has a reputation. And so it's like, fuck you from the beginning, and not in the nice way. And she's amazing. She's amazing too. But the things that he does and the way he appreciates her as a woman in a male-dominated sport, the way he supports her as an athletic woman who still wears her heels, who still drives to be feminine, but can get out there and slam a man against the boards and get slammed back. I mean, it's amazing. He finds out before this game, and this is before they're official, like they're just fucking around. But him and the team find out right before they go on the ice that her ex got called up to the NHL, and he's playing against them. And he was obviously a really shitty ex who couldn't handle a girlfriend who was more successful than him, as a lot of men can't. And he gets the team to just ruin him. And then when the time comes, he literally throws off his gloves and beats the ever-loving shit out of him on the ice in the middle of the game, fully prepared to get kicked out. He told his coach ahead of time he's going to get kicked out and send me the fine. Send me the fine. This one's for you. He wears her jersey to I think it's like their hero night or whatever. They have a night at the arena where they wear, or it's like legends. Or something like that. And he wears her jersey.
I love it when the male main character wears the female main character's like paraphernalia. Necklace, jersey, shirt. It's just so cute.
He gets a women's locker room put into the arena because for almost the entire book, she has to use a broom closet. He threatens the whole book to tattoo the word mine on his hand so that, when he's looking at her at certain times, it labels her as mine. The reason, at first I didn't know how I felt about that. I'm like, that's kind of cheesy. But then the more I thought about it, I'm like, he's not branding her, but he is claiming her without branding her. So in dark romance, they'll that is a trope where they literally brand their name on a girl. That was like so different. And then later he gets Emmy's pretty boy tattooed on his collarbone. You can hear that in the second book about it. And he walks around shirtless every chance he gets so everyone can see it.
It's so good.
And that's not even everything he does for her. And and the evolution of his character, he's so down bad.
Maverick is the most down bad MMC that Chelsea has ever written, I would think.
Right. Yeah. She said Liam would give him a run for her money, but so far I think Maverick still consistently through the book was more, maybe it's just like outwardly down bad, right? So yeah. And then they also joke in Power Play, this is about Maverick and Emmy, so I'm not going to worry about it being a spoiler for Power Play, but they even joke about him taking her last name once they retire because for everything. So, and I really hope that happens in later books, that we see him take her last name, because that would just show how down bad he is and how proud he is of her accomplishments.
Yeah. And honestly, how proud he is to be her man. That's Maverick's energy. He is so proud to be Emmy's man. Like, I'm Emmy's. It's not even like she's mine. She's his, yes. But he's more, I'm hers. Yes. I belong to her. And that's the difference. Yeah.
I know. And actually, now that I think about it, 3 out of my 4 recs, they take the man or men take her last name. Now that I'm thinking about it. And that's a total move. That is a total down bad move. It is in my mind now. And I never even realized that until right now.
Okay. Since we're still in contemporary, I'm going to switch it up real quick and I'm going to take us into Fae World. I'm pretty sure that I've mentioned this book already multiple times, but I will never get over this man. Viciously Yours by Jamie Applegate Hunter. Baby, I don't think I've ever seen a Fae man as down bad as Rennick. Okay? So the premise of this book is that when you are a certain age, maybe 13 or so, the fates whisper the name of your mate in your ear. So you know their name, and then some kind of bond develops where you can find them or whatever. Now, Rennick is a prince at this time when he gets his mate's name whispered to him, and it's a big deal because in the world that they live in, if someone else knows your mate's name or who they are, they can obviously go harm that mate and, just use that as some kind of bargain, power play, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, he keeps it close to himself. He doesn't tell anyone. I think he tells his parents, but that's it. No one knows that he has heard his mate's name. Then he finds her and he basically stalks her. Hold on, I'm laughing. But when he actually stalks her, you get a familiar... You get a familiar in this world, and I'm pretty sure his is a bird of some kind, an owl. I can't remember, but he uses his familiar to go fly and spy on her because he can see through through the bird's eyes. So he sees everything that she's doing. He starts sending her mail from the age of 13, and then you cannot go physically claim your mate until you are 25.
That's diabolical.
Diabolical. Can you imagine the years of pent-up aggression this man has had to feel
during the primitive years, like during those very horny years?
The worst part is most of the Fae princes and stuff, they get a Fae mate. Rennick gets a human mate who has no idea of what the world she's about to be pulled into. She is just living. Yeah, I heard about the Fae.
I need to read this.
Okay,
one,
girl.
So
Please read it, and I can't wait for book 2 because the author has said that book 2, the male main character is worse than Rennick, and I simply cannot fathom. Rennick is so down bad that when he realizes that Amelia doesn't believe him. She's an orphan. She has nobody. She's like living her life. She doesn't believe that this man who keeps sending her letters actually wants her and is going to come get her, but she enjoys the letters, right? She decides
she enjoys the letters.
Yeah, she enjoys the letters. She decides, I'm going to live my life. I'm going to lose my virginity. I'm going to do things, And she does,
yeah,
period. I support women's rights and women's wrongs. Knowing that this man is writing her letter, she goes and does her business. She takes care of her womanly needs, okay? Rennick, with his bird's eye view, sees that this man does not appreciate his woman. This man does not dote on her, does not care for her, does not, it's really not giving for Rennick. But also you touched her, so now you have to die. Rennick offs the man that she sleeps with for a multitude of reasons. Number 1, touching her and sleeping with her when he cannot. Number 2, you didn't even do it right, bro. That's how Rennick feels. If you're going to take my girl, do it correctly. And he did not. Offs him. Then what does Rennick do? Sends her moles. Mm-hmm. He sends her moles of his moles in different sizes so she can prepare for when they meet. Okay, molds. Yes, he creates. Hey, babe, I know you're searching for something. Hold on to these until we can meet. He is so down bad for her when he realizes that she likes blondes, that she may like blondes or something. He tells every blonde in the kingdom to shave their fucking head. Shave your head and do it now. Oh. Yes, he's down. I fear that did something to me. Could you imagine the people of the town lining up to get their head shaved because their prince has ordered it? No blondes in the kingdom. I shall be the only person she looks at.
That reminds me
I love
of a book I read where blondes had superpowers and we're almost killed.
Oh, God, I remember that. Okay, we're not even going to talk about that. Oh, the last down bad thing that I will mention. I hope this is not a spoiler, but a woman touches Rennick's arm. Rennick's arm. Picture it. A woman touches his arm and Amelia sees it. She's, of course, like, oh my gosh, like, why? What are y'all to each other? She's feeling lackluster about the situation. She's feeling feelings. She tells it to the man. You let her touch you. What do you think my boy Rennick does in this moment? Does he A, say sorry?
It's a quiz.
B, tell her it'll never happen again. Or C, cut off the patch of skin that the woman touched and throws it away because he know it will heal and he will have erased the touch of this other woman from his body. A, B, or C, my loves. What do you think?
Oh my God.
I love him. He is so down bad. I can't wait for book 2.
I love the passion you're coming with these. Like,
I love it. I know I've mentioned this on the podcast a couple of times, but like, it's just, yeah, he's just so
it fits
good.
perfectly for today's.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I will keep it Faye. Shocker, you guys, excuse me. So I don't know if you've heard of them yet, but Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti, they wrote...
I hate her. Listeners, she said, have y'all heard of it?
I tried not to. I really did. But I haven't talked about this one. So it's an obsession, okay? Listen. If you work,
you could be doing drugs,
or you are Caroline Peckham and Suzanne Valenti, I would love to have you on the pod. Okay, I'll just tell you how much I love you both for an hour. It's fine. I won't do that. I will be way more professional. I promise. So, anyways, Dark Fae is the first book in Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac. Okay. Now you may be saying, Zodiac, wasn't it called Zodiac Academy? What you always talk about? And yes, it was. This is technically this is a different series, a prequel series. There is primarily one crossover character that you see later in Zodiac Academy. And I read ZA first, and I knew that character. And I was like, oh, this is his story, right? Like 10 years before when he went to an academy, a different academy, like the poor one in the town where the government has just let run wild and lawless, basically. I'm like, oh, this is a love story. I just went in blind. I didn't even read that the whole series was called Ruthless Boys. So I was not aware that this is a why choose going into it. And so I'm like, what the fuck are all these other guys doing here? We haven't even heard from this main guy. And I'm so excited. I was like, why is she even giving interest? Okay, they're going to be done. This is just a game. And it took me a while. And I finally went like over halfway through this book. And I had to go back and read. I was like, oh, she doesn't have to choose. It was very confusing for me. But it's great. Anyways, I digress. Dark Fae, picture it. A vampire who grew up basically in a strip club. Her mom was a stripper and a prostitute. She grew up with her older brother, who was just like the center of her world, right? They were super close, I think only a year apart. They lived in poverty. They lived in a gang-run town with two opposing gangs, all right? Rough life. Her brother gets a scholarship. He's really smart, gets a scholarship and gets to go to the academy in town. Not many people get to go. Basically, you have to, whatever money you have in this town or anyone has, those are the kids that get to go. Or the one scholarship kid. Her brother goes. After a year and a half, he dies, and it's reported of an overdose. But she knew her brother. He was a Pegasus, very happy, never did drugs because they saw what it could do, living the way they lived. And she said, that's not my brother, but no one would investigate. What does Miss Elise Callisto do? She's going. So she hacks into the system.
Immediately.
She hacks into the system. She becomes the new scholarship student. Because she kind of did some digging, found a name that she saw like from some Facebook post. Yeah, they have Facebook. You're welcome. That he was tagged in. So she finds this supposed friend of his and she questions him. And he's like off his face on this drug that's kind of going around that apparently her brother died on. She questions him and the only name she gets out of him is King. So she's like, I'm going to find out who this King is and I am going to enact vengeance, right? She is on a mission. She's going to destroy this person for destroying her brother, her world. She doesn't care what it takes. If it kills her, she's going to do this. And through some investigating, she gets there and realizes that there are technically 4 kings it's like a title, 4 kings of the academy. Okay. Are these men, young men. I mean, they're like 20. So young men. Each one of the gang leaders, which technically they're the leaders of their whole gang, not just at the academy. So that's a little far-fetched for me. Anyways, it's this big thing, who are, of course, big rivals. And you have the loner harpy, who is top of the class, smartest. He's the only double elemental in the whole school. And then you have this lion shifter, this Nemean lion shifter, just very charismatic. Like, he's got this whole actual harem of women that follow him around. Like, so that's part of their order, is they have charisma, and it like they want to please him. And whether that's going to rub his they're going to want to rub his feet. They want to get him just the right cheese. They want to give him like anything he needs. Like, poor baby. She gets there, and what do you know? She's trying to get close to all of these men because she's trying to figure out what happened to her brother.
Right.
Does she end up fucking one, if not all of them? Yeah, maybe. Well, not the gang leaders, because they're opposing gang leaders. And if she hooks up with one, then that's her basically being initiated into the gang, and then she's target for the other one. But she falls for them all. And also, Elise is very big into the polyamorous lifestyle because she saw what falling in love could do to her mother, because her mother fell in love with her brother's dad, and then he left when his Elysian mate popped into the picture.
Oh, God.
Yeah, messy. And then her dad just disappeared before she even had a chance to tell him she was pregnant. But these men are so down bad for her. To bring it all around, Leon Knight, the lion shifter, he's used... So lions in this world, lion shifters, have prides. So usually it's one, they call it one king, and they have their women, their lionesses. So he has 3 moms and 1 dad. And so that's usually what he's used to, right? This is the lifestyle. If he's usually opposite, but if my girl wants these other men, then I'm going to help her make this happen. And Leon is just like sunshine and rainbows and just, come on, hey, do you want to go have a threesome with me and Khalees? Like, I would really love, I've always wondered how you would fuck her. I just imagine it's just like real good. She won't tell me the details, but I just want to I'll just watch. If you're not comfortable with that, I'll just stand back and watch. It's fine. And he's so down bad and so excited. I love him. At first I was like, this is ridiculous. Retriever. Oh, yes. And it's just so... Oh, and so all the women that kind of fall under his wrist, he calls them all Mindy, because he can't be bothered to learn their names, because they come and go so much. And there's so many of them. Oh, and so he just calls them all Mindy. It's super shitty. It's super fucked up. But the girls are just like, no, it's fine. It's fine. I'm Mindy. But he just shuts the ball away. It's just so funny. So he only uses them for homework and all this stuff eventually. And then Gabriel, he is a seer.
Gabriel.
So yeah. So if you've read Zodiac Academy, this is Gabriel. Okay. Gabriel is a seer, but he kind of has a block on his powers, so he only sees things sometimes at this point in his life. But after he hooks up with her, he gets this vision that they are Elysian mate. Or he believes they are, because he sees rings in both of their eyes and them together. And so he's just, fuck these other guys, Elise. This is just the stars testing us. You're going to be over them soon. Don't worry about it. I don't get why you would talk to them. But he also pushes her away. So he's down bad for her, but he believes that he's in danger. So he keeps her at arm's length. It's this big back and forth. And then the gang leaders, get this, the gang leaders want her so bad, but they refuse to let the other one have her, that they make a star bond not to hook up with her, because they're like, you can't do this. Okay, well, then you can't do that, and you can't do this. So it's them trying to find ways around the rules to be able to hook up and do stuff. So technically, they are this is in the world. If you know Zodiac, then you'll know this term. But these 2 men are astral adversaries, which they are destined by the stars for one of them to kill the other. It's the opposite of Elysian mates, which is just a way to say fated mates in this world. And she's having none of it. She's like, fuck you guys. She's like, I like both of you. You're both awesome. And you both need to get the stick out of your asses. Get over this feud.
Oh my God.
But she is so... And all the while she's trying to figure out if one of these men killed her brother.
Right.
You forgot, surprise. Yeah, it's so good. And in this world, Elysian mates, there's never been multiple, right? There's never been anyone with more than one Elysian mate.
It's so interesting to me, because now I'm thinking Gabriel in the Zodiac Academy books that I'm reading and getting to know him. his wife, who he's talking about, who's having his kids, has all these other mates?
They were very careful not to give those details in Zodiac Academy to give away anything. If you go back and read it, or if you finish it, you're going to get hints at it. His buddy, Leon Knight, you will see Leon. You will see Dante Oscura.
Dante, yes. Dante's in.
Dante is leader of his clan. And then Ryder Draconis is the other. He's a basilisk.
Oh.
Yeah. So there is a storm dragon, a basilisk, which is super rare. He's like the last one in the world, or in Solaria. A lion shifter and harpy. And she's a vampire. So then she's sucking all their blood. And she needs a source. Oh, so that's another thing. She needs a source, to claim a source at the school.
Right.
And technically they are like equal in power or more powerful than her, or more skilled in magic, so she couldn't overpower them. So basilisks get their power through pain. So that's how they recharge their magic. It's not just their pain, but if they feel pain from anyone around them, they can feel it. So if you're beating a basilisk, all you're doing is replenishing their power.
Yeah, powering them up.
Yeah. So he's, bite me, baby. You can bite me. You want to be? I'll be your source. And he offers himself as her source. And Dante's, fuck that. You're not her source. I'm her source. And she's, calm down. I'll just drink from both of you. So it's this constant thing where she's going back. It's so good.
Yeah, that is. It's not all of them being down bad.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, is they are all unhinged for her in very different ways. And so that's what makes it so fun. And at the same time, she's like playing it cool. Like, you guys are fucked up. If you're not going to play along with the way I want to play, then you can get out of here. And they're just like, okay, fine, I'll do it what you want. I'll do what you want. I'll go against the way I feel about this situation, and I will do this for you.
Right. Wow, I love that. I love getting the sneak peek into Gabriel's life, though, because I really didn't know that was going on.
I didn't either. So imagine knowing that, not knowing anything about this, going in, and then all of a sudden you're reading about this lion shifter, and I'm like, what? I'm like, is there another man? I was, there's men.
Right, multiple.
But then it's so fun to see the relationship then between the guys too, go throughout the series, and like how they come to terms with it, and different. Oh, so fun.
Unfortunately, I'm going to pull us from the land of the magical and bring us back to reality.
That's okay. That's okay.
Listeners, I am holding a copy of Swift and Saddled by Lila Sage. That is the book I'm going to be talking about, because I take that back. I have definitely read quite a few cowboys, if you will, who have been down bad for their girls. But Weston Rider is just... Oh, Weston. So this is book 2 in the Rebel Blue Ranch series. Yep. Yeah, by Lila Sage. And this follows the brother Weston, who basically falls for what he thinks is this one-night stand out-of-towner, Ada. Now, Ada's like living her life. She's been through trauma. She's just trying to get her shit together. She's like very much so black cat energy, like the blackest of cats, you know?
Yep.
Very just like on the fence, not too invested, playing it cool. Just, I've been hurt before. I don't trust anyone. I don't have friends. Very much that. West is a golden retriever with a ball. He is the happiest little man running around, just happy and funny and sweet. And he is so down bad for Ada. There's pretty much a scene with him telling her, baby, go ahead and run. Take your little trips, drive away. I'm going to be standing right here when you come back home. Like, just letting her be free, but also saying, you're going to come back. Like, I'm going to be standing right here. There will be no other person. All throughout the book, Ada refers to Wes as being gentle. Like, super gentle. And I think that is his character. I mean, let's be serious. He can get a little... You know, Doberman, a little pit bull if he needs to.
Doberman, I like that. Yeah, Doberman, not pit bull, but definitely Doberman. I could see that.
Doberman, he can definitely get that way. Yes, when he needs to. But throughout the book, he's very much so golden retriever energy. But like he pretty much tells her like, "What don't you understand? I like you. I'm not going to stop liking you. If you like yourself, why don't you think that other people would like you? Like, make it make sense to me." He's just very calm in the way that he's loud about the way he feels for her, because he knows that she's scared.
He's firm.
He's very firm. And he assures her, like, he sees her, you know what I'm saying? And that allows him to be like, I don't want to use the word perfect partner, but he can break down her walls because he's literally just being present. He's being consistent. And that's what she really needs. So
the dream.
West, right?
Emotionally mature?
What? Never heard of her. The cover itself gives down bad. That's why I brought the cover, because if this isn't down bad, tell me. If you guys have a chance, go look up the cover for Swift and Saddled. Honestly, the cover art is amazing for all of the books, and I can't wait for Teddy and Gus.
So good.
But like, I am so curious to see if he is going to be more down bad than
Hello,
West.
Miss Sage. Yes, we would like to talk to you.
Because it's only a couple more days until we get to read them. I have so many books to read.
I know.
But yeah, I can't.
That one's on the list.
It's going to be so good. I've requested it it's been pending on NetGalley for months. More than 7 months, I'm sure. The minute she announced this book, I requested it on NetGalley, and it's just sitting there pending. And I'm like, if y'all don't go through it and just accept a bunch of these requests at least 3 days before I cannot wait to read them. I am so excited to read them.
It's on Libby, available to hold, and it has been for a while.
I've already done that. Yep,
I did Dev weeks ago, and do you know what? It will be available months from now, it says.
Yeah, months.
I'm hundreds down the line. And I feel like I was notified.
I think I'm like 60th in line or something, but yeah, that's still too long. Because you can keep them for so long. I cannot wait for Gus and Teddy. Something tells me that Gus is going to be like grumpy. Oh, I hate her. But be so down bad, you can't even believe it. If you are interested in a really sweet, fun series, yes, I have. Yes, I have. I cannot wait. I cannot wait. So yeah, the Ryder brothers they're down bad. They are down bad. So yeah.
Thank you.
That's my Western. We're mixing it up. We've got fae. We've got gods. Who did I start with? We've got priests.
And now we're going to have some Omegaverse. Are you ready?
Love that. Love that.
Because who isn't more down bad than some alphas for their Omega? A group of alphas. Yes, here we go. Priceless by Devon Sinclair. I'm just going to read the description and then I'll talk about them, about these alphas, okay? I just figured this one is best described by the lovely Devon herself, which I went to her panels. I met her at her booth at Books, Gowns, and Crowns, and she's so amazing. I got a special edition of one of her books too. But Priceless by Devon Sinclair. 3 billionaire alphas, a marriage of convenience. What could possibly go wrong? Being an Omega is incredible. Being a fat Omega, no one wants, not so much. But I don't need to be wanted. I only need to survive. There's 5 years left until I get my trust fund, and I can put my toxic, abusive, fat-phobic family in the rearview mirror. That's my plan, and I'm sticking to it. Until 3 alphas offer my family a deal. 3 alphas who are ridiculously rich, scorchingly hot, and claim they need me for 1 year. The deal? Marry them for 1 year to help save their company, and I walk away with my trust and my freedom. Simple, easy. I don't even blink before I sign on the dotted line. I thought it was just a marriage of convenience and nothing more. I didn't count on my husband's caring about me, protecting me, craving me, seducing me, making me feel things I never have before. Okay, let me just tell you. It's a marriage of a convenience because these 3 billionaires, they always knew that they were a pack, right? And they just hadn't found their Omega yet. They started a business and it's really lucrative. Obviously, they're billionaires. The board is trying to out them. There's some funny business happening in their business. And they said that they need to clean up their image and get married. Because scent matches are not guaranteed in this world. Like, obviously, everyone has a scent match, but you can't always wait around because you might not find them. So they weren't planning to fall in line and get married. But then they go to one of their business partners, like they use this company, right? And they go to this function they don't want to go to. While they're there, from across the ballroom, they are up on a balcony looking over the ballroom, right? And they zero in. They haven't even scented her. They see this girl in the corner and they're like, holy shit, who is that? We have not seen her at any of these things before. Who is that? She is our type. We want her, right? So they saw her and wanted her. Then when one of them went to save her from some skeezy guy, like business partner of her uncle's, trying to insert himself there, then they were hit with the scent. And it's a scent match, but they didn't say anything because it was like they didn't actually know each other. So they didn't want to scare her right off the bat and be like, you're ours, I'm going to take you. Because omegas, in this world, omegas can't smell their scent match unless they're in heat. While she loves their scents, she's also, okay, she's super self-conscious. She's been overweight her whole life. She likes the way she looks. She's happy with herself. But her parents died when she was younger, and she was in the care of her aunt and uncle. And they have shamed her. They just do this thing. They put locks in the kitchen. And mind you, she is a mid to late 20-year-old woman. But they are in her parents' house. And because of the way their will was written, apparently she can't get the will. They have her will and estate and money until a certain time. So anyways, she has to play along with this, right? It's horrible, and the conditions that she's lived in. So there's a lot of triggering things in this book. So please check the trigger warnings before you read. And she just wants to be away from that. So they see her and they're like, how could we get this? How could we get her closer to her? Right? They're like, oh, well, the board really wanted us to get married. Let's surprise them and let's just get married. And let's offer her uncle, who they have some questions, like there's questioning stuff. Her uncle takes the bait and is, you can marry my niece. That's fine. You can marry my niece for a year for exchange for whatever. Year. Because he tells Ocean, the female main character, I want you to spy on them. I want you to get me information, right? She's just, fuck that. I'm not going to get you information, but I am going to get the hell out of this house. So she's sweet. These men, I think, are super hot and they smell good. So let's go. So she signs her little life away. But they take her, and first of all, their business, they own a bunch of clothing companies that are all-inclusive size, and they are high-end designer. They own a lingerie company, like that's part of their stuff. And one of them designs a whole lingerie line for her called Ocean. And he designs it for her. And produces it.
Down bad.
She's like, oh, I won't fit in any of these. Like, all of our stores are size inclusive. You go, get whatever you want. And if it's not there, we'll make it for you. We will have someone make it. We will do what you want. And she's just, she's trying to just stay quiet in the corner. And they keep shoving her forward in a very supportive way. Not uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean? It's very much, this is our Omega. If anyone has anything to say about it, you can get fucked and we will destroy you. They destroy careers. Oh, they also have a sex toy line. Do they try all the prototypes with her and get her opinion?
They do.
Yes.
I love that.
Yes, they do. That. This doesn't work for you. This is too uncomfortable. Let's go back to the design. Let's go back to the drawing board. Let's redo this.
I love that.
She also, so one of the moments for me that was so sweet, she's like, what do you want? Comfort. What would you really like? She's like, well, I just would like a sweatshirt, but I know yours won't fit me. He's done. He reorders a bigger size and he wears them each for a day and then he gives them all to her. And the same sweatshirts he had, just to make sure that she could feel what it feels like to be able to wear her man's clothes.
Stop.
And they never shame her, but they never push her too far, but they do try to push her out of her comfort zone to be confident. And the way they are so attuned to her, and I know it's because a lot of it has to do with it being an Omegaverse, but just the support they show her. Yeah, but the support they show her and the way they support her in being who she is so great. And I like it too because it's an overweight female main character who likes the way she is. The only thing she's fighting is to not be bullied. Do you know what I mean by people that should have supported her? Everyone in her life supports her, or the people that she chose to have in her life. It's just this aunt and uncle, right? It's not she's constantly putting herself down. She's aware of her weight more than she needs to be, but it's not like a shameful thing to her.
Not like
does that make sense? Right. It's not self-deprecating. She's not trying to lose weight. She's not doing this. She's not doing that. And that's what I really liked about it. Because sometimes if it really focuses on the self-deprecation, that's where I have a hard time reading some books. But this didn't do that. And so I appreciated it. And like down to the sex positions that they did. Like they were thoughtful of her comfort and what she wanted and needed. And it was...
I love that.
Yeah, sometimes it was so cool.
Something different.
Yeah. She's like, no, that's not comfortable for me. They're like, that's perfect. Great. We don't need that. I can have you other ways. Mm-hmm. And they're also just
Thank you for your feedback.
Yeah, they're also just shut up. I'm going to carry you. I don't care. I can do it. They're like, I work out for a reason. I will carry you.
What do you think these muscles are for, babe?
Yeah, they're not just for show.
Right.
So it's a really sweet down bad, and it's very thoughtful in everything they do for her behind the scenes that she doesn't know and the stuff that she finds out. Priceless by Devon Sinclair. And Devon is awesome. Yes. I love her Omega books. So
yeah. Does she only write Omegaverse?
I think she only writes Why Choose now. I guess she did ghostwriting for a long time before she did her own stuff. I've only read her Omegaverse. No, not only Omegaverse.
I love that.
Spicy.
Here's the thing. I have 2 books left that I want to talk about.
We're getting out there.
Yeah, I'm going to pick one.
We can mention some too, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'll just briefly actually mention both of them. I'm not going to go too in depth because I feel like I've given a lot. So the first book I'm going to mention is Six Scorched Roses by Carissa Broadbent. It is a part of the Crowns of Nyaxia world. It's a novella in between the Serpent and the Wings of Night, and then the Ashes of the Star-Cursed King, something like that. Y'all know the book titles are long. They're getting longer and longer. But this novella sits in between those 2 books. I chose to add him. It's Vale. It's a vampire romance. So Vale is a vampire, and then it's Lilith. Lilith is our little human baby who's been cursed by the gods. The girl was born... Yeah, me too. It just feels like evil incarnate or something. I don't know. Mm-hmm. Lilith was born to die. Yeah. And she is so sweet. She is so sweet.
Born to die.
She was born to die. She was born to die. So from the day she was born, she's pretty much known that she was going to die. And her little... we're going to call it state, her hometown or whatever, has like a curse from one of the gods in their pantheon where there's just this illness that is killing everyone. And Lilith knows she's going to die, but she's somewhat of an alchemist, if you will. She's trying to save the people that she loves from her sister, who is like literally dying in front of her eyes, to just her town. She doesn't want them to have to live with this plague and this illness. And I can't remember, she's like dying slower than everyone else, I think is the vibe. And so what she decides to do is pretty much make a bargain with the vampire who lives on the outskirts of town, who is Vale. And she basically says that for a vial of your blood, I will give you 6 roses, or 6 roses for 6 vials of your blood, something like that. And so she brings him these roses, these to feel, I mean, like for her, they're everything. To Vale, they're like these nondescript roses. Like, why would you bargain with roses? But he takes her up on it. He's intrigued. He's interested, you know? This man becomes so down bad for her because she is like a myth. Like, what is wrong with you? You want 6 vials of my precious blood just so you can give me roses? Are you mad? Are you well, darling? But whatever. He humors her, and then he gets to know her, and he just obviously falls in love with her, can't get enough. She's dying, which is so sad. So he has to come up with a plan to save her, of course, even though she tells him to scram, kick rocks, go live your life, babe. He can't. And I'm not going to give too much away about that. I'm not going to give too much away about that, but he's just obsessed with her. And it's so thin. It's so good. You don't. Honestly, I think you could read this first and then read the other, like the actual beginning of the series, because it's so short. It's worth it. You get a little background. That way, when Vale comes up in book 2 or the end of book 1, I think he actually makes an appearance in book 1, but you get more of him in book 2 and Lilith. You understand how they got to where they are, because when they show up, there are questions. It's not all sweet and peachy. When they show up in the Crown of Nyaxia books, it's kind of like side-eye, like, you monster vibes. But in this, you're like, oh no, you were not a monster. You were just so down bad for your little human. Like, that's the vibe. So I think it's so necessary to read. It is like so cute. Because when I read them, I was like, wait a minute, Vale. And then I read this 6 Scorched Roses and I was like, fail. Oh no.
Oh no, don't.
Yeah, good. And I don't know, there's just something about me in a vampire romance that will just always connect. I love me a vampire. If there is like a paranormal being that I could only have one, and I love me some fays, I love the fairies, okay? But if there is one being that I had to pick, I would for sure pick a vampire. There would be no question. You would not even have to ask me twice. So check that book out. If you've read the Chronicles of Nyaxia series already, make sure you add that to your TBR. I think you'd really enjoy it. The second book I'm going to very briefly mention is actually contemporary.
This is going to be our longest episode ever. Look at us.
I'm sorry. I know.
Look at this
real quick. It's The Co-op by Tara DeWitt, and I'm not even going to tell you the plot of it. I'm just going to tell you the tropes. Marriage of convenience, forced proximity, second chance romance, summer fling. Yeah, those are the main ones. He begs in this book. So there's that. Deacon and Lorin from The Co-op by Tara DeWitt. This book has already been out, but I think Tara got traditionally published with it. So it's actually coming out again in November. And she's actually rewritten it, which it's actually one of my arcs from NetGalley. I need to reread the newer version because I think she's actually changed some significant things in there.
I get so nervous when they do that because I fall in love with the version and I'm like, don't touch my baby. Don't touch it.
Right. So far, though, because I did start the arc, I like the subtle changes that were made. I just need to finish it to see if, like, I don't know, there's more. But yeah, it'll be out in November. And shameless plug, if you want to know what book releases, we are super excited for November. Follow the Instagram because we're going to have a post for our monthly faves coming up.
Or threads. Because it's posted over there too. Well, I was just going to mention, like, from my quote, obviously the Gods and Monsters series by Amber V. Nicole, down bad, but it's MMC and FMC are both way too down bad. They both honestly need to cool their jets, but they won't, and they'll just fire up even more. Excited to see where that one goes. Also, I did want to make sure that we mention, again, we've done this before. I think it's been a few episodes, though. The Kindred's Curse saga by Penn Cole.
Yes.
Luther, so down bad. So down bad. The best quotes also from Luther has those one-liners.
Oh my God.
Those monologues where he's going to fuck you with his words. I mean,
yes, it is.
He's going to get down into your soul. And
I love him.
Also, we love Penn, and stick around because let's just say we're going to be wrapping up the year in the next 4 episodes. But when we come back for 2025, you are not ready. You're not ready for what we have in store next year. I know.
That's it. Jordan,
I don't know who the fuck we think we are. I don't know who the fuck we think we are. But we
stay tuned. You do not want to miss things, okay?
Yeah, no.
Guys, stay tuned.
Yeah, stay tuned, and thanks for listening to us ramble about down bad MCs. If you're looking for more romance recs, be sure to follow us on Instagram and TikTok and Threads and Discord at Romance Recs Pod. You can find our favorite book recs from our favorite episodes, as well as behind the scenes content. Again, that's at Romance Recs Pod. So make sure to give us a follow, and we'll be back soon with another episode.
Bye, guys.
Bye.